let's talk about a few things that's going to be on your Chapter 2 test. First of all, we need to know our different types of symbiosis, okay? There are 3 different types. Number 1 is mutualism, and that is when both benefit, okay? So when both of them benefit, that is mutualism. And you should be able to look up some different ones that are examples of that. Another type is commensalism. And commensalism is when one benefits and the other is not affected. And that's affected in either way. Remember that when you're looking at the different examples that are going to show up on the test. And again, like we did yesterday in our stations, you need to make sure that you can do different ones of these for sure. The next one is parasitism. This is one is harmed and one benefits. Please keep in mind when you are doing these and you're working on these that you have examples of each type, that you know examples for each type, so that those will definitely show up on the test. The next thing that we want to do is we want to look at a food web. There are going to be 3 different types of food webs on the test, and all of them are going to be kind of looking at the same thing. And it may ask you questions such as, you know, what are animals that only eat producers? So also remember that producers are also called autotrophs. And in this picture, what are some of the producers? We have grass. Any other producers that you see in here? Oh, I see a tree. That is definitely a producer. And those are not only producers, but those are our level 1 producers. Okay? So we have that. The next thing we have is our first level consumers. And these guys eat our producers. All right, so they're going to eat our producers. So some examples of our first level producers here are, I have a grasshopper, I have a rabbit, I have a deer. These are all things that are eating my producer, which is my grass here. Now remember, consumers, another word for that is heterotroph, correct? So you want to make sure that you remember that that's heterotroph. Then I have my second level consumer. All right? So we have our second level consumer, also known as heterotrophs. So if I look up at here, those are the guys that are eating my first levels. So here's my grasshopper. So a second level producer would be my mouse right here. Second level producer here would be something that's eating my chipmunk, which would be my fox. So that's my second level consumer. They eat the other things. The type of questions that they're going to ask you about this is, what is going to happen to all the other organisms if I get rid of something in my food web? So you need to know what will happen and what will be affected. So, for example, if all my mice die off, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to this population of hawks? Well, they're going to go down a little bit. Even though hawks have other food sources, that's still going to go down. Again, my owls are going to go down because they eat my mouse. The fox level also may go down because of that. But also, what's going to happen to my grasshopper level? It certainly may go up a little bit, correct? And if these go down, then my bird level might go up. So it affects things in many different ways. So you need to know and understand when you look at one of these food webs, if something is eliminated, what is going to happen? Or if you want something to happen, which ones are going to, what things need to be changed and eliminated. So you need to keep all this in mind for your test that's coming up. And please don't forget to make sure that you understand the 3 different types of symbiosis and know examples of each for the test. Also, be very familiar with your water cycle and the picture of that. There will there'll also be a couple of questions on the test where you have to read a graph or chart and answer the questions. So read the graph and charts and then answer the questions. Pretend like the questions are not there, and then look at the questions then. If you have any questions or that before the test, please come and see me.